Hello, my name is Martez Loren, and this is my 9-week update. So, as you can see, there's a bit more facial hair. Not too much, but a bit more facial hair than I had before. My voice is relatively still the same. One thing I have noticed is that I think I keep saying that this is like going through like a second puberty. And with that, I'm also noticing that I'm getting acne again, which I'm not happy about because I finally stopped having acne as an adult, and here it is back again. So I've had to get like a facial cleansing wash for that. I'm getting in my face, my back, my chest. I've noticed like hair, not just here and here, but I've also gotten hair like down here, my chin, like a couple of them, but nothing too bad. People ask me, am I like doing anything besides taking testosterone to help with hair growth? Because a lot of trans guys have issues growing facial hair. And, sorry, I was looking at something. Anyway, a lot of trans guys have issues with growing facial hair. For me, I have been taking biotin. It's I guess a health supplement or a vitamin B7. And I mean, maybe it is helping, maybe it's not helping. I think it's helping. I think it's allowing me to have more facial hair. And I began taking that even before I started taking testosterone. That was maybe about a year or some change ago. And I feel like it helps with just hair growth in general, which helps with hair growth on my face as well. So if you're trying to get facial hair growth and you're having issues, maybe try it out. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, but I think it works. So I was trying to think of something to talk about this week, something different. And I decided to talk about when did I know I was a boy? Because people have been asking me that. Well, how do you know you're really a boy and not a girl? So I think I knew I was a boy when I was about 5. And I say that because I remember where I lived, there was not a lot of girls growing up. There were myself, maybe a couple girls on the block, and like mostly boys. And I remember my mom would tell me things like, oh, well, you can't do this, that, and the third because you are a girl. And it's not ladylike for you to do these things. But I never really quite accepted being a girl in the first place. I didn't understand what that meant to be a girl and how it made me different. I always felt like one of the boys. And until it was brought to my attention that I wasn't a boy, was I even made aware of the fact that I wasn't a boy, if that made any sense. I think I've always thought of myself as male. I remember when I first got my my-size Barbie. Most of the girls are happy to get my-size Barbie because they dress it up like themselves. They wear my-size Barbie's clothes. But me, instead, I pretended that my size Barbie was like my girlfriend. I know, weird, right? But I remember taking pencils, like a regular number 2 pencil, and coloring a mustache on my face and facial hair down here because I wanted to look like a boy next to her. I remember her having this pretty pink lipstick on, this blush on her cheeks, and I acknowledge it as being pretty, but that's not what I wanted myself to look like. I wanted myself to look adverse to that. And I remember trying to, I only did it in my room when I was by myself. I never like walked outside like this, and I made sure to wash my face before my mom ever saw me. But I remember trying to make myself look more male when I was in my own space, when I was by myself, when I was able to be private. I wanted to be a boy so badly. And I remember my upbringing and having those debates and those disputes about me wanting to wear certain ensembles and that not being appropriate for a girl. So I guess that's when I knew that I was a boy. Another thing I want to talk about, I feel like a lot of people have this impression that somehow trans people are trying to take over the world. And just like I think any other member of the LGBT community or any other minority, we just want to live. Like, I don't really care if you want to live your life and you're not trans and you don't have any trans friends. Doesn't really bother me either way. I know for me, I just want to live in a world where I feel safe and where I can live my life and be free and be fulfilled. I've had a lot of conversations with males and females who have a lot of personal turmoil about transgender people that comes from absolutely nowhere. A lot of fears and questions, comments, concerns that just show ignorance. It's one thing to have questions, genuine questions, because you want to have genuine knowledge. There's another thing to be a bigot and to discriminate against people because you don't understand them. If you know a trans person, ask questions. If you don't, ask me questions. Ask me anything. I'll answer that. But don't assume you know anything about anybody based upon your own misguided knowledge. By the way, I'm really grateful for all the people I have who are supporting me. And I'm now finding people who I've never met before saying, hey, a friend of a friend saw your video, and so I'm commenting on your video. And people who I have no idea who these people are, I'm happy that you're watching. Please, please, please subscribe. Tell your friends to subscribe. Ask me questions. And as this gets more in-depth, as this goes further along, I'll start having more interactive videos, hopefully. You guys will give me some better things to talk about. What else did I want to say? Oh, I got my first heckler. If you go back about maybe 3 videos where I'm wearing the Jurassic Park shirt, there's a gentleman named Insane Salamander. I found him quite comical. And a lot of my friends on Facebook were really defensive. They were very much so on my side, which I appreciate all the love and concern from me. They were all a little upset at his commentary, or her commentary. I'm just gonna say his. And a lot of their concerns were like, oh, don't let that get you down. Don't let that deter you from what you're doing. You're doing a great thing by being open. And honestly, for me, I just saw it as that's a good sign to me. When you start getting people who are deliberately being hateful like that, that's a good sign. That means that my videos have actually reached a point to where they got outside of my immediate friend and family circle and have now progressed on to people who don't know me, which means that I can possibly help somebody who I've never met before. And that's awesome. So hate, love, continue to share the videos. For whatever reason, you never know who you're going to reach. So please, if you see my videos and you want to share it with your friends, your family, you never know whose life you're going to touch. I remember when I first began seeing videos about trans people, this is like years ago, before I told anybody about it, it made me feel more at peace to know I wasn't by myself. So hopefully I can be that voice to somebody else. Hopefully somebody else, some little girl, some little boy, sees my videos and sees a bit of themselves in me. And with that, they feel like they can come out and be who they want to be. I think that's awesome. Again, thank you all for subscribing. Thank you for continuing to watch. Thank you for all of your support. I think my next couple of months is going to be a bit more dramatic because from what I've seen from other people's videos, at about the 6-month mark, that's around Christmas, the voice starts to get a lot more definitely dramatically male. So hopefully I'll have some of that. If I don't, you know, it is what it is. But hopefully the voice gets a little deeper. Hopefully this gets to be a lot more visible. And hopefully I can stop getting misgendered. That is annoying. I'll say that. I've had my days where I'm more annoyed and angry than other days, but that is annoying. And it's not annoying when it's people who don't know you and don't know better. It's annoying with people who you do know and are not trying. Like, I don't mind people who know, are trying, make mistakes, and don't get it right every time because it's different. It's new for me, it's new for them, it's new for everybody that doesn't really see me on a regular basis. So I get that. But it's really annoying when it's people who know better and just don't try at all. But I will say, for the most part, most of my friend circle, most of my family circle has gotten really good with their pronouns, even to the point where they introduce me to people with proper pronouns in hopes that those people pick up on it. And of course, everybody's not, up to speed. Everybody is not as savvy. But I appreciate the love and support that I've gotten from my friends and family. Thank you, everybody who's reached out to me on Facebook, the different questions I get, my inbox. Again, don't be afraid to ask me questions on YouTube, Facebook. If you see me in the street, if you, whatever, give you my phone number, call me up. I will make sure that my process is as open as possible, because I don't like the idea that when people transition, they go stealth and pretend that they never were who they are now, because it leaves following generations to be alone, and that's not cool. Well, I think that was everything I had to talk about this week. Sorry it's so late. I was traveling, and so I kind of had a rough weekend. Florida, back home. If you know where home is, you know where I am, but if you don't, but yeah, so had a quiet moment to record a video, so now that I have, I can post this and hopefully you watch. Be sure to subscribe. I post every 2 weeks. If you have questions, comments, or concerns, hit me up. Guess I'll see you guys in 2 weeks.